What the heck? Um, Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. We're excited that you're here with us live on Co-working Live with Red Worldwide. And we are just excited about being here today. And it is Tech Thursday. Yes. So we get a chance to dive deep into some technology. And today we have a little bit of technology fun that we're going to do because one of the things that we have come to understand is important for people to learn how to use technology, but sometimes we can accomplish, more with less. Okay. And so there are times when may need to build out a website or do something fun. And, it doesn't really require some of the same things and tools that you may have had to use in the past. And so I know we've got our background here going, and I just want to make sure that we're keeping things fresh for you. But interestingly enough, as we're learning how to use different types of technologies, it's really important to, streamline some things and decide what you need to use where. So we have our regular websites that we use for different purposes for our different companies. For Red Worldwide, we have a website that's in a content management system that's an LMS, a learning management system, and it allows for people to come to the website, sign up, become a member, but they can also purchase courses and take the courses right there from our site. We have the ability to set up affiliates. We can, send out emails from there. We can do funnels. It's just a ways to make sure that we have all of these different tools. And that's through a company called Zenler, our new Zenler. And so if you're interested in that, make sure you see the QR codes that are right beneath me and use those QR codes to get in contact with me to say, hey, I'm interested in learning more about New Zenler and how it's working for you and what it is that it possibly can do for our company. We can share that with you, take you on a deep dive and a tour and show you how we use it for, 4 or 5 different companies and the different ways that it actually meets the need of our audience. Okay. But then there's sometimes where we might need to have a different type of thing. Maybe you need to have a portfolio. You might be an artist, or, a creator of some sort, or you might have, something else that you need to show. And being able to have that thing work for you a certain kind of way is really, really important. And so understanding that, having the tools that are needed for these types of mediums are it's going to be important. And you can do it. I want to tell you, with some of the easiest tools now. It used to be that we'd have to do all this stuff with code, and I mean, I tell you, we'd build it all the way from the ground up. Now we can use, some tools like Camtasia or Canva, and one that we're going to talk about today, which is Adobe Express. I love Adobe for a few things. I mean, not saying that I don't love, the product that it presents, but there's some of the tools I just don't have the expertise. Now, you want to, know that there are some learning curves when you're using these different types of technologies. So I want you to be very clear about the fact that, there's sometimes when I just have to turn it over to a professional. When it comes to Adobe, Premiere, Premiere Pro, I can do a few things there, and I can kind of make my way through a video or two. But, that particular software is best in the hands of somebody that has experience. And so when I really need something done, I turn it over to the filmmaker husband I have. Okay. And he makes it happen for me, or either to my daughter, who is in graphic design. She has a degree in that, and a master's degree in instructional design. And I just kind of say, hey, I'm trying to put together this course. I really need it to look nice. And I just hand it off. And then they gave me back the product that I need to have so that I can put that up in the places where it needs to go. So that's, one of the things that you might want to consider when you're thinking about, what you want to use. But when I really need to do something and make it happen quick, I go to softwares, like Canva or Adobe Express, because I can get a really nice looking product without having to, learn or go to school and get a master's degree in graphic design. And so it's something that is really has always intrigued me, to know that we have these kinds of tools. And so I'm going to share my screen today so that we can take a look at, some of the tools that, I have found very helpful. And we'll just kind of deep dive a little bit into what you can do with this tool to create a website that might be used if you are in a situation where you need to show, your work. And so I have used this site, for lots and lots of things. But one of the things that I have used it for most frequently is to demonstrate, my portfolio, or to show my mastery journal, as it's called in the area of expertise that I'm working in right now. And I want to tell you that it's been extremely helpful, in the way that I have come to use it, because, I have really come to understand that one of the main things that you can do with the site is to curate an experience that is, kind of interesting for a particular type of audience. So let me share the dashboard for Adobe Express so you can kind of see what it is that you'll be able to um, uh, have available to you here. And so one of the new things that Adobe Express has done is, well, Adobe added a lot of AI tools, and it gives you the ability to create, from text to image, and generative fill, where you can actually upload an image and put things around the image and put images in certain types of environments. Some of the other things, we're going to come here in a minute. I wanted to kind of let's see, let's go back. I wanted to kind of show you, at the dashboard level, so you can see all of the tools first before I went ahead to share, what we're going to do. But it's quite interesting, when you're looking at this. And thank you. Okay, I was just trying to get it to cooperate. Looking at the generative AI tools, text to template. Okay, so this is interesting because they have the ability for you to create editable templates from a description. So you can describe what it is that you want to create a template for, and it will make the templates and hold the templates in the software, so you can come back and use those same templates over and over again for different purposes. And then, of course, you have text effects, where you can create all different types of lettering, and and it just is really a fun deal to be able to use the software in that way. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to show you a website that I created using Adobe Express, and it was for one of the master's degrees that I matriculated to receive a year or two ago. Now, man, it's it seems like it's been a long time, but in March of 2023. I did a master's degree in instructional design, and in that class, they wanted us to be able to show our work. And so the way that we had to show our work, we could have used a couple of different types of softwares, Behance or WordPress, but Adobe Express was one of the ways that they wanted, to get us to show the work, because it had some, interesting tools that you can use inside of it, and it was quick, So I created my mastery journal, and this is my cartoon, me in the background, with the short hair, back when I had short hair, and my earrings, and so. And I just decided that I thought that this was one of the best ways that I could show my instructors, my work. And so, of course, we have more cartoon me, and we have the ability to, and I know that you're noticing the animation that's involved in this website. So when you scroll up, it brings up the next thing. You can set it to where it has just a fade in feature or the scrolling feature. This is what I chose to do to give it kind of some, some fun, to make it, really kind of interesting. And so I, put my text over here to explain, a little bit more about me. And then, of course, as it's going to the next section, it gets to the real me. In my in-home bedroom studio in Texas during the pandemic. Okay. When we could not go out to our office to record, or if we, did go out to the office, we had, some complexities because of curfew and all kinds of things that was imposed upon us at the time. I turned, my husband, the filmmaker, turned the bedroom into a studio. And so we recorded from there. And so this is showing me actually, recording my podcast that I had at the time, in the bedroom. And so, of course, I used that as the background for the text that was coming up on the side. This is us, my daughter and I, one of the daughters, and on one of our shows. And so our green screen is in the background, and you can see us, getting ready to record one of our episodes. And then, of course, there's more. You can do a lot with graphics in this software. It allows you to just pull in a set of graphics. And as long as you're starting with something that is at least 72 DPI, great. If it's 300, you're going to get a very nice demonstration, or I should say a beautifully laid out photo. And so in this case, this was a beautiful picture that had been given to me for Mother's Day, and I used it as a background because, again, I'm talking all about me and the work that I'm doing. And they asked for, the instructor had asked for us to tell a little bit about our family and what it is that was important to us. And so, of course, I pulled in some more cartoon stuff, my husband and I. And then here's one of our interviews that we did with one of our clients who's been with us for a few years now. Here are some more things that they asked us to do. They wanted us to pull something off of our LinkedIn profile. So of course I pulled in my LinkedIn and, to show just the people that I follow and all of that. And then of course they asked for us to do some inspirational posts. So here's some of the inspirational posts that I had on YouTube, but I just pulled them right in. And of course, more me, because as you're wanting to demonstrate things in your portfolio, you want to try to brand as much as possible. And so I wanted to show what I do. And I teach a lot from the computer. And in this particular case, this is my Kingdom Coaching with Pastor P broadcast that I was doing at the time. And so I just had myself online teaching on screen. And then I also had all of my videos there so they could click and watch the video right away. And as you're seeing, there's several different things that you can do with this software. So we were asked to do different projects. And what I did was I tried to take those projects and use them to create branding for each thing that I was showing in the portfolio. So here, I was able to utilize the software to put a backdrop of what my intro was going to look like for my video. And then, of course, here's the full video here. But it just, again, brought branding. Here, again, is an infographic that I had to develop. And there is the video that goes along with that infographic. And so I tried to stay consistent and make it so that people would have they'd get a view of what it is that they were going to be watching, when they watch the video, but they'd also, again, have that branding to, keep them tied into the fact that I'm an instructional designer and this is all about learning content. Okay. And again, more branding, the cognitive theory of multimedia learning. And that video is right here. This came right out of the video. I just took a screenshot and threw it right there. And it really did come out pretty neat. Here is another screenshot of one of the tools that we had to learn how to use. We were learning Articulate Storyline and Articulate Adobe Captivate. So in this particular case, I was able to show how to use the software. And again, more branding. I just pulled something right out of it. Another video and more branding in the background. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this, that I tried to make sure that as people were watching things, they were staying clued into what it was that I was talking about, and so that they could actually see some of the reality of this site. Now I want to show this one to you guys because I think this was kind of fun. I was learning filmmaking principles for instructional design. That was in one of my classes, and so we couldn't really use, well, we could have, but I found it difficult to find stock music, audio. And we were later given access to, a very popular audio repository where you can find music and that you can use on YouTube and other places, and royalty free. But that came after this class. So, I wrote my own music for this particular video that I created, and I did all my own vocals, and I had to do a storyboard and all that kind of fun stuff. And so let's just kind of see what we were able to do. And this gives you also a video in the website so you can see how it performs inside of the site. For some people, food insecurity has always been the reality. However, the pandemic created a first-time food shortage for many of us. Learning to grow food indoors provides sustainable food solutions that could not only change lives, but save lives as well. Today, you'll learn to grow food in an indoor garden without soil, land, or sun. You will use a shallow pan with a lid, distilled water, a filter, LED lighting, and a tower made from PVC pipes, a bin, and bamboo. Let's start with a pre-made grow pod that contains rock, wool, and seed. However, you could very well make your own pods from coconut husk and add seeds a 1/4 inch in that will grow just fine. Place your pod in the pan and fill with filtered or distilled water to a 1/2 inch. Do not use too much or your seeds may not grow well. The pods have now been in the pan uncovered for 5 days. They will now be showing evidence that the seeds have broken and are beginning to sprout. You will be using the top of the pan that fits securely but has vent holes to allow a small amount of air to exchange. It is deep enough that a moisture barrier can form. Place the top on the pan but do not close completely. After 3 or 4 more days, you should see the sprouts clearly through the top of the pan. You may now take the top off to measure the growth of the sprouts. You'll be growing your plants on a hydroponics tower that filters the water through tubes to feed the plants 3 times a day for 5 minutes. The tower holds 6 gallons of water, along with pre-made nutrients that are designed to make sure your plants grow well. When the pod has reached 3 inches, you'll place it in an empty space on the tower. Make sure it has plenty of room so its root systems can spread out. Once every 2 weeks, you'll need to check the water in the reservoir to see if you need to add more, because as plants grow, it'll need to be replenished. After just 8 weeks, you can enjoy. So as you guys can see, it's really kind of exciting, to understand what it is that people are able to, to do, with the Adobe Express software when they're actually building out their website that they're going to use as a portfolio, or for sometimes even, maybe using it to demonstrate, something for some people you can do yourself. So let's take a look at how we could start to build out something. So what you would do is you're going to put in to the search string. If you are in a situation where you're just starting, you could put Adobe Express, or you can go down and click on Adobe Express. And then when you get there, there are going to be options, for you. And you're going to choose Create from Scratch web page. And then it'll take you to this page. So now you can add a title. And I know that, some of you guys might have remembered that when you were looking at the one that I started, let's just kind of go back to the beginning so you can see the very rudiments of it. Mine looked just like this when we started. It was gray with the, everything like this. And I know that it probably seems like, well, how did you get from there to where you are, in your uh, development of this site? But it was really simple, how we got to that point, uh, and making sure that everybody is able to see it is going to be really important. Okay. I need to check something because it looks like our stream is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. And I want to make sure that, to see why we are having um, uh, on YouTube, it's still playing. Uh, okay. Okay, well, maybe we're now where we're supposed to be. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Okay, so let's go back to our we'll stop sharing and we'll go back to our sharing again, just so we can make sure that everybody is with us and we're where we're supposed to be on the stream. And I apologize for the little bit of confusion there. Not quite sure how we ended up with that, but we're learning. we're really learning. So we're going to share our screen again and get back to where we were in Adobe Express. Okay. So here we go. And so let's make sure that everybody's able to see what they're supposed to see. All right, so you can see here where I put a video, or actually not a video, but a image in the background, and then I put my text on top. And so it looks very different than it does, here with the gray. But let's do it, and so you can see how we can do this. So this is going to be our sample website, okay? And we're going to put some things here, and it's fun to explore. Okay, so now we actually have some sample text there, and we want to get something in the background. So the way we get something in the background is by, clicking on the header, and then it gives you an option for photo, short cover, or split layout. So let's take a look at what it would look like to have a photo in the background. Well, we can pick from all of these wonderful photos, and since I am so in love with flowers, we can put some flowers in the background. Okay, that's a very beautiful and realistic looking background, right? Okay, and so now it says scroll to start writing your story. So you click at the bottom here and you can choose a focal point and start writing the story on that focal point, or you can choose to replace this image with something else, or you can choose to get a short cover. And so, that same cover can now become a header, and then you can do something else by clicking on the plus sign to add a different type of layout going forward. So let's get, a split layout. We'll have something on the right and something on the left, and you can click here, and it's all about dragging and dropping. So if you want to drag and drop an image, we can use this same image that we had over there, to put on the right side. And on the left side, we can actually start some text, or we can put a video in there, or we can, add text with a button. We could add a GIF file. There's lots that we could do, but what I really just wanted to show you was that you have the ability to make this very fluid and cause it to do exactly what you want it to do. So in between the header and this next section, you could actually put some more text to explain to people what it is that this website is about. So you could start text this website, or welcome to our website. I guess we could say welcome to our website. We are glad you are here. Okay, so now You may decide that the text doesn't look exactly the way you want it, so you can highlight the text, you know, and in doing so, you can end up bringing up the screen that would allow you to change this text to H1, header 2, which is going to change its size, to the size that makes sense. Or if you wanted to actually show it that this was a quote, you could pick the quotation bar. But in this case, I want to just change the size here. And in doing that, I also think I might want to make sure that it's centered. Okay, so now we have our text in the middle. Welcome to our website. Now, one of the things that you notice is that this is not as necessarily sticky. But it does have an animation type feature, because if you notice it, when you start to scroll, it gets larger and expands, and in terms of what happens with the header. You would like to have the feature that I showed you when we were looking at my site, the feature that allows this to scroll up and replace this particular image, would replace the image that's already here. And so you can play around with a lot of these features, because it will give you exactly what you want based on how you choose to use it. And when I say it's really fluid and it works very well, it really does. So you can add different types of animation features to the text, and you can also add features, to the area. Okay, you can move things around. If maybe you want this on this side instead of on that side, you have the ability to do so. Maybe you would like to, let me just show you this one feature here. In creating the split layout, I'm sorry, hold on. Maybe that's, the feature that you would like to have at the top, instead of, having that header bar. But whatever it is that you want to make it do, you could make from the whatever the picture is that you're looking for. You could create a focal point for any particular section and have that saved, so that when the video, not the video, but the website is pulled up, people are seeing exactly the part of the picture that you want them to see. So that's a really important feature there. And then of course, if you're adding things, you can use what's called the glide show, that's the feature where I put something in the background, and then I can then come and put on top of it the videos, like you saw over here when I was building mine out, where I had this glide show happening, and this is gliding, and it's allowing me to have text on top of the video or the picture that's moving. I can also, as I have each one of these glide shows, I can move the text from side to side. And so the way that you would make that happen here is, first you want to get your background photos going. So you can go and you can upload your own photos like I did, or you can choose photos that are already here. So here's a nice photo that, we could use as the background of the glide show. Now, in this case, this is not a very large photo, so maybe you don't want to necessarily use that one. Maybe you would prefer to use something that's a little bit larger, in terms of the ability for it to spread out and look nice as a wide photo. So let's save this one, okay? And look at how nice that looks, right? So we can go from here to here, and mind you, these are just photos that I'm just choosing, not necessarily to build this out to look any particular way, but just to show you the functionality. Now you have the choices to move this to the center or have it on the other side. We're going to put it in the center, and we're going to look here. We can choose a photo. We can choose to type text, or we can choose to put a button. We can choose to put a GIF, or we can add a video. So remember how you were watching it with me, the video that I created for my class, that's a part of my portfolio. You could do the same thing. And in the video choices, you could actually put videos from, Express that are already here, or you can use YouTube or Vimeo, right? So you're uploading your video that you created to YouTube, and then you're actually taking the URL and putting it here in the space so that you will know where that would go, right? Where to send this link. So the link actually will pull the video in here, and now you have a nice video on top of your webpage. That's the Glide Show. And you can do as I did in mine. I made every one of mine a Glide Show because I wanted some uniformity, and I wanted to create the ability for people to, I'm going to put one of these on the other side. It's not in that section where I can edit, but where you can actually move things around very fluidly and have it so that it's doing exactly what you want. So remember how I had that split view? This is what that split view, that's what it looks like. And here is a video on top of just one central section in there, and then another Glide Show, right, with more text, on top of the section that's coming up on the side. Here are more videos in there. So really, it's such a simple thing, but it looks amazing. Nobody has to know how simple it is. That it was so easy for you to create this, because basically all you're doing is just clicking on the header and saying what you wanted to do next. So as you're getting to the end of this, maybe you'll tell it, to edit the photos. You can make the photos, add words to the photos. There's lots of things you can do. But here you can make a photo grid, which actually will give you the ability to pull in a photo, and you can add other photos to it so that it has the ability to, make, we're going to actually take this photo and make it smaller. But the thing that I love about it is that it gives us the ability to choose, to have 2 different or 3 different photos and make it like a gallery if that's what you want. In this case, I'm not going to save it, but I just wanted to show you how you would do it. And the fun thing about it is that as you're building out every one of these sections of the website, it's all on one page. So it just scrolls down seamlessly. Now, could somebody create a website for their company using this? They absolutely could. I used it, like I said, as a portfolio to show, what it is that, I'm able to do, some of the skill sets that I have, and some of the things that I learned when I was in college, getting that master's degree. But the thing is that somebody else could use this to show, everything about their company, and it's a fun type of interactive website. So when people are scrolling, it gives them a different viewpoint. Well, I want to stop sharing and actually go back to our studio audience and see if there's something that they have to add. What do you guys think? Could this be a way forward for somebody to create a website, or maybe that you would create a site that shows people what you're able to do, in your industry, or what it is that you can have going forward, to demonstrate to the world, how they can get in contact with you, or what they can do, to gain access to your services. Anybody want to share?
I think it's very creative and innovative.
Yeah, I think so too, Kevin. It is a very creative and innovative way to demonstrate. And the thing is this, what I love about it is the price point. Okay. So if you're already paying for the Adobe Creator Suite, which, is anywhere from, if you're a student, it's $19, and I think it's $19.50. And if you, are a teacher, it's somewhere around that same amount, but they have varying, price points for how you can use the software. If you're one of those people that are actually paying for that software already, then you have access to Adobe Express at no additional cost. But if you don't have a membership, to Adobe, you can still have access to Adobe Express for free. It is a free software. So here you can create a whole website for free. And the only thing you would have to do is just get a domain name and connect your domain to it. And the way I did it was just by doing a domain forward. It is a quick way to really demonstrate your skills or to introduce someone to what you do, introduce them to your company, or make it so that they can find, out how to engage you in your services. And you can do it in a way that is amazing, because there's so many tools that if just a little bit, you can make those things happen. I really do appreciate the thing that Adobe has done here, because this is amazing for the new entrepreneur, who may not be able to afford getting a full website done, and they need to get something up quick like today. Okay. This helps that happen, and the other thing is that I love the fact that you can put video headers, you can utilize a lot of multimedia, to demonstrate whatever you'd want to demonstrate with the website. So, again, my purpose for using it was to create my mastery journal portfolio, but some other people might use it for different purposes. You can use it for creating a proposal to share with the client, and there are templates. That was the last thing I was supposed to show you. There are templates. So let me show you this really quickly, because I think that this could help to make someone more educated about whether they want to use the software or not. So when you're looking over here and you just started the Adobe Express link, and you're looking at the options of what you can do, when you click on create from scratch, it's going to take you to creating from scratch. But if you put in the search tab, that you would like to see a website, it's going to take you to websites that may have been created by people who are members of the, community, the Adobe community. And so there are a couple that were in there today. When I pulled this up, I was able to look at, something that someone else created. It was their mastery journal. And hold on, that's not quite the one I was looking for. Hold on, I was supposed to click. Hold on, let's see, those are recent. Let me see if I can just put in the user search. Okay, website. Okay. All right, so now it's going to take me to some websites. So here's a website that was done by someone who also used it for their mastery journal. Okay, and he was in the new media journalism program. Now let's look at his, which is a lot different than mine, because what he did is he just literally just created a slide show type of journal, which was a little different than what I was able to do with mine, or that I had in my thought process. But there are tons and tons of other options. So let's say that you're wanting to create a website and you needed to get some inspiration. Okay, here are some different sites that you can take a look at and see what other people have done, so you can, and their templates, so you can actually pull things in that are more related to you. So this person created more of a slideshow as well, that was just 2 pages to tell people who she was and what she did. Okay. And that was something that could have been very effective for her. People going to her URL could get the information that she needed them to have, and it would give her the ability to be in a position to share with the world her skill set without having to build out a full website. But there are so many other options, and as you get in here and you see all of the different choices, here's another person who's a website developer, and this is a template, and so you can create or customize that template and make it look like what you needed to see. But the bottom line is that you have options and choices, and you can just kind of flow through and take a look at them. When we come back next time, we're going to have the talented Javon Freeman share with us how to do something very similar, but using a different medium, and that's going to be Canva. And so we're very excited, to see some different tools and learn, what it is that we can do so that we can learn how to do business better. And so I'm excited, that you guys have had an opportunity to share this with us today. And we really look forward to coming back and putting some other tools in front of you so that you see that you have options, okay, for doing this, and doing it in a way that really does bring a level of excellence, to your company and gives you what it is that you're supposed to happen or have. Thank you again for joining us, and we will see you again next time.